Right, so I just wanted to have a quick chat about ovarian hysterectomy, spaying bitches, because there are two main ways that we can do it now. We can do it the traditional way, which is ovaries, uterine horns or fallopian tubes, and then the womb all the way down to the cervix. So it's a big incision through the dog, all the way from sort of up near the tummy button down to the pelvis. Or we can just take the ovaries out on their own, which is the more modern way of doing it. And people often ask me which is the best way. So I thought we'd go through a paper that was written reasonably recently. I can't remember the date, it was 2011, on ovarian versus ovariectomy. Ovarian so otomy means removal of, ovary ovario is ovaries, hysterectomy is the womb. So ovarian hysterectomy means removal of ovaries and womb versus just removing the ovaries on their own for elective sterilisation. Do we need to remove the uterus? So what's the evidence on this? So this is a paper that was published in the Journal of American Veterinary Medicine back in 2011, and it's a key paper really. So there's a little introduction here, various bits and bobs about the actual surgical technique. You can see here that the ovariectomy, the incision is considerably smaller compared with ovariohysterectomy. Signs of pain. Generally, we don't see massive differences between them, but we can see that dogs that undergo laparoscopic, i.e. putting the camera into the abdomen, have less severe signs of pain. And then complication rates down here. Complication rates generally are mild and generally consist of incisional inflammation or GI tract upsets. Now, going down here, we can see a roundup on uterine abnormalities, because generally we used to recommend removal of the womb because we didn't want them to develop uterine abnormalities in later life. So the big ones are CEH, cystic endometrial hyperplasia, or pyometra complex, infections in the uterus, and cancers, uterine neoplasia. So this is the important sentence. Regardless of the exact pathophysiology, that's the exact cause of CH pyometra, it is clear that it requires a source of progesterone. Progesterone comes from the ovaries, from what's called the corpus luteum on the ovaries, so it is not expected to occur after complete removal of the ovaries. Uterine neoplasia, primary uterine cancer in dogs is rare, and almost all are benign. So to our knowledge, uterine neoplasia has never been reported in a dog that has had its ovaries removed before 2 years of age, regardless of whether the uterus was left in situ. This would suggest a strong hormonal influence on the development of these tumours and a sparing effect of any technique that removes the ovaries. I.e., you take the ovaries out, you don't get cancer. Urinary sphincter mechanism continence, that's essentially being unable to control urination, so wetting in the house. Basically, the importance of estrogen is not, it's not up for debate. Estrogen is critical in this syndrome that we see. So whether we take the uterus out or not doesn't really matter, because it's all down to the ovaries. So because the ovaries are the ones that are producing the estrogen. So essentially there should be no difference there. Conclusion. We do not believe that there is any scientific evidence for the preferential teaching of ovarian hysterectomy instead of ovariectomy by schools and colleges of veterinary medicine, and it is our view that ovariectomy provides an equally effective technique for elective sterilisation of female dogs and cats with no recognised disadvantages. Potential advantages of ovariectomy include a smaller incision, better viewing of the ovarian pedicle, and possibly less risk of complications associated with surgical manipulation of the uterus. So there you go. Essentially, we should only be taking the ovaries out. The traditional method is now outdated. Better just to take the ovaries out on their own, and as we saw earlier in the paper, even better to do it with a camera or a laparoscope in there, because those dogs recover faster and with less pain. If anybody wants the paper, you can look it up on the internet, and it's called, there you go, Ovarian Hysterectomy versus Ovariectomy is elective sterilisation of female dogs and cats is removal of the uterus necessary, and by Michael Datora and Robert J. McCarthy. Okay. Hope this helps.